morning, everyone. First of all, a very happy Women's Day to all the women over there, and welcome to the wonderful program that organized by Sajeeva Vahini because of the World Women's Day. And today we are going to discuss about the women accelerate progress because as we know, there are many women which we don't accelerate the progress. Like when we support the women each other, they have achieved many things in the before generations. Also, we have seen many women achieving many things without any support. Also, without any, they are the power and light for our future generations. And now we are going to discuss about the topic about the investing. When we invest a power, like when we accelerate the progress for the women, what they can achieve more, how we can encourage the women by giving acceleration or by giving the encouragement to the women in the present generation. Now we have the woman, great woman here, Mrs. Sumona, who is the senior director of financial business planning of the PepsiCo. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. And now let's discuss about some of the points that we have about the women, because you know much about the women in the present generation. You know the how the empowerment is going on. Empowerment means like there are no bounds that we need to, like what are the we can invest in a woman in present days, and how we can accelerate, like how can we support each other of the women, how we can get the equality in all the fields, what we can do with all the women. And now we can go through the many things. Before going through, can you give some special words regarding the Women's Day before starting the program?
Thank you and the organization to invite me for this special event on this special day. And I would also want to take this opportunity to wish you a happy International Women's Day, Vahiri. This is a great opportunity and a great cause by all of you to bring these kind of special things to our upcoming women workforces to learn, to understand, and to take it forward from there. So, thank you so much for inviting me for this special event. And I'm all set with whatever you want to have and ask me.
Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful words. Yeah, we have made some such insights, and you have that expertise to discuss about such things on the women. And let's discuss some of the topics now we are going through in this generation. Why is the investing in leadership, in development for women? Like, what is the reason behind that? Why should we do that?
See, again, there are multiple perspective of why we really want to invest in the leadership development and majorly on the women leadership development. If you ask me, if I have to really see it statistically, it is proven and many of the studies have said that 21% of the organizations who has women leader workforces, leader executives are performing much higher than the other organizations. So it has also been seen that these organizations which are higher with women leadership are having superior financial performances. They are getting into more greater innovation, enhanced problem solving capabilities. So those are more at a very high level on a statistic basis, because decades of studies also have said that women's have brought in a lot of creativity in the workforces in bringing different perspective to the overall ways of working, I will say. The leaders who are women have been able to not only show higher financial outcomes but also have shown higher cultural strength in the organization. They have the women leadership has actually shown an improved culture in terms of improved employee engagement, um, improved collaboration between the team members. The teams have come up and said that they have more psychological and personal ownership in their work if they have a women leaders. So I would say that overall, from an overall perspective, women leaders over a period of time has shown much better results, and I am really very proud to be a woman and playing a leadership role in one of these organizations. Um, but if you really ask me, and that's from a statistic perspective, from an organization perspective, that why it is important for us to develop women leaders, because if we are bringing more and more women workforces and developing and grooming them to leaders, the organizations will surely have much more positive impact. However, on the other side, if we really have to talk about, I just want to bring out the other perspective from our society, like the way that we are being brought up in our society, in the ecosystem. The women's and the girl child in our ecosystem are um, always been asked to do things, not to do things, on how to talk, how not to talk, don't talk loudly, don't laugh loudly. You cannot go outside after a certain period of time, a certain time in the day. You have to, this is the way that you have to sit, this is the way you have to walk, this is the. So, what it means is from childhood, a girl has been brought up in a way that they are not being groomed and trained to take their own decision, to do the things that they want to do. They don't have a mindset to have their own perspective, to demand for their own stuff. And that would mean that when these women's are brought into workforce and they are getting into a leadership role, they lack all of these minimum requirement of leaderships, right? Like making decision in your leadership role, you have to be very strong in making decisions. You have to be very smart in demanding actions and demanding work. I don't think culturally we have brought our girls, our women's in that way. So it is so very much important for us to invest that time, that energy, that resources to have that change in the mind shift of our women and our girls who are the upcoming leaders, so that they can really play this role very naturally and not have to really earn to do that. So that are my two takeaways for this one, on why it is so important for us to invest in the women leadership.
Yeah, yes, that's a good point actually. So let's get into the other one. Like we can see the raising of the opportunities in every field nowadays. And what are the benefits that come from when we invest in the women economical opportunities? What are the benefits that way everyone can get when we invest in that?
Uh, Again, my personal perspective, and I don't want to be a gender bias over here. Anybody who is getting into the workforce is working towards improving the economic situation of the nation, um, of the whole world in a way. So the whole economy is growing. But if you really ask me, and the way that I have read through, I feel that if we are able to reduce the gender parity, the GDP of our own country will be improved drastically, because there are quite a few of our women's who are not into the workforces, who are still at home, who works. And I don't want to be a stereotype in making in really making a bifurcation between a working women or a non-working women, because I feel that there is a lot bigger role that has to be played by both of them in the overall economic system, in the overall ecosystem. But the overall studies also says that the gender diversity gap, if it is reduced, the potential of the earnings of the world can be improved by like $28 trillion, which is equivalent to like 26% of what we are earning today. So our overall world will be richer by 26%. So that means there is a gap, right? There is a gap for the women to really being brought up into the workforce, and they start working. In a micro level, if you ask me, like what it really brings, I feel it brings a smarter generation for the next generation that we are trying to build in. A woman, if they are literate and they are more self independent, financially taking their own decisions, they will inculcate the same kind of value in their next generation. They will bring in the same uh, ways of working, the same way to say no, say yes, into the next generation. So I feel that is so very important for the women's to really get into the I mean, investing in women to bring them into the overall workforces, because that will see a total different generations altogether. I don't know whether you have heard or not, but Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru once said that once she is on the move, the family is on the move, the village is on the move, and the whole nation is on the move. So, what that means is, I'm not saying that men do not play a very important role in moving the family, the village, the nation. What I'm saying is a woman over a period of time has been seen that is playing a much bigger role in making and improving their own family. There is also a saying, if one woman is educated or is becoming literate, the whole village can be one day thought towards being a literate village. So that is the power a woman can bring in, and that is why I feel there is a huge benefit in we investing into women's moving into those directions.
Yeah, that's a wonderful and empowering point that you have told now. I'm very happy to listen that. And one more point here, like when in every for every human, that health is directly proportional to the success. When health is good, and it automatically the success will be there in every field, in everything. So how important is to invest in women's health and well-being, both physically and also emotionally? How it's important for that?
Yeah, that is a great question, I would say. And um, I would take my example. At every phase of my career, um, um, when I started working and I got married, I think I always had the guilt of I'm not able to spend enough time with my family members, mine being uh, a love marriage. I had to do a little bit, not too much, but a little bit of adjustment at home. I always kept on thinking, if I was not working, I would have played a much bigger role. I would have done much better in making those connections and improving. Over a period of time, I have grown in my ladder. I got kids. I still remember getting out to work. The guilt always and every day killed me. When my baby used to cry, when I have to leave my baby with my mom or in the daycare, uh, there is a lot of guilt that was getting into me. And then now that I've grown up and getting into more leadership role, uh, my kids are more of teenage now. That time they need me more, and I feel that if I'm able to be with them, I will be able to share the right life lessons. They will be able to get more of my time rather than diverting themselves. And so all the stages of my career, and I started from the beginning, to just to let you know that it's not only me, all the women who is coming out to work is actually doing a kind of trade off, a lot of trade off, because, and more from our society, because in our society, a woman is looked upon as an individual who will have to play multiple roles. So, again, I'm not gender biased. I will say this again and again, but I would also want to say that if a man is not able to take a leave when the kid is unwell, it's okay. But a mother, a working mother, cannot just go to work with a sick boy at home or a sick kid at home, right? If you are going out at work, then you are being looked upon as not the right fit for a mother.
True.
If there is a family function, and there is a very important meeting in office, men can just get away by saying, okay, I have this important work and I have to go and get back, but a woman cannot. So this is a kind of stereotype and the glass ceiling that we have brought across, where a woman, when this woman is growing as into the leadership level, has to really go through a multiple physical and a mental trauma, I will say. So while you are uh, you are working and you are getting into a leadership role, I will talk more about leadership role because you started this conversation on the leadership role. You are more on the leadership role. You are required to look smart, and that is perceived. Oh, if you are a leader, you have to look like a leader because you are being looked upon, um, a role model to many of you. If you are not if you're not able to take care of yourself, uh, of your health, how can you take care of such a big team that you are driving, right? So there are many emotional things, many physical things that a woman has to go through, unlike men's, I will say. Men can get away with many things with the kind of upbringings that we have and the society that we live in, but women cannot. They have to be perfect in what they are doing in their personal life versus what they are doing in their physical life. That brings in a lot of stress. And with women's getting into the different phases of hormonal changes, it brings a lot of physical stress. So if you really have to see and understand from a woman's perspective, uh, while they are working, there is a lot of perspective, there is a lot of perception, there is a lot of opinions of others that they will have to manage and deal with and take it forward, right? And which actually brings in a lot of stress and anxiety in women, which really leads to your question, the answer to your question, that why it is so important for a woman to have a well-being, uh, both physically and emotionally. Because of all these reasons, they have to play a very stable role to really do their work differently. So it is so very important for women, I will say, to have mental stability and a physical stability as they are getting into the workforce.
Yeah, this brings to actually one of the question on my mind. So, how much important is self empowerment, self progressive environment that you can get for the self health care, like self well being? What is that important step that you took, that you have personal experience, something that when you step into such stages, such phases?
Yeah, and that's so nice question. And again, I will get back to what I meant by the trade-offs. Okay. Now, there is a lot of things that is going around in the social media. You will say, okay, have some self time, have some self care, uh, but as a mother you will have to be the best mother, but as a wife you will have to be an uh, ideal wife. You will have to be a daughter, play a role of a daughter, and if you are lucky enough to play a role of an ideal daughter-in-law also. So uh, by playing all these roles, and then you have a role to play as a leader in your office as well, right, where there are, like, I have around 300 odd team members who report into me. So that means they all look up to you for everything that you speak, for the way that you deal with things, for how you manage stuff, how you take various decision on their behalf. So there are multiple roles you have to play. And when you are playing multiple roles, the one thing that we all forget, or other than we, everybody else forget, that the time is only 24 hours a day. We don't have more than that, right? So you have to be a great mother, wife, daughter, daughter-in-law, leader, a manager, a mentor, a coach, etc., etc. Now, it is a decision that we will have to make. And if you ask personally, for me, what is my self time? I think if I'm spending time with my kids, that is my self time because they are my kids. So I feel that is my self time and I take it. Of course, I don't get a lot of time to go out, spend time with my friends, spend a lot of time in spa, in other self care and everything. But because they are my kids, I feel okay. It's great. That is the self time for me. Taking care of my, spending some time with, sitting with my mother, sitting with my in laws, talking with them, is again a self time because they are my mother, they are my parents, they are my parents in law. So it is my self time. So I think it's about the mindset on how you have to shift your mindset to see what is important for you and how it is to make sure that you are happy and you are able to make those right choices in life. While I do all these things, I think one thing that I always love to do and I don't get away is my daily practice of yoga and meditation. That is something that I don't compromise on. That is something that I make sure that I do it, even if it is for 20 minutes or even if it is during the days that are lean, I even go for 1.5 hours. But that is something that I feel is my time, and I take that time out. Again, there is a trade off. Okay. I have to get up before my kids get up. I have to make sure that I do the self care before they get up so that I can get some time for myself. But that it is, you will have to make sure, because it's a choice that you have made, to make sure that how you, what is your self care, what you feel happy about, what is your fun time, and then take it forward from there.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful answer. And coming to the final question that I have, that what the impact does investing in women's empowerment have on the society that we're living now?
See, again, this women empowerment word uh, is taking uh, a lot of importance over a period of time. And I will not say that it is just like that. Because from the time that I have been brought up, and again, I am coming from a family which is extremely progressive. My father was a government employee. My mom is or was a housemaker, and she has always taken time to take care of the family and everything. But from a thought process perspective, they have been extremely progressive. I have a sibling, my elder brother, but I have never experienced differences. I have always seen, I have been given more privileged than. Than my brother, I should say. Of course, till the time my father was there. I uh, to my very unfortunate luck, I lost my father when I was 19 years. And from then, the journey of the empowerment really hit me. From then, I started feeling, uh, getting into the understanding of why do where is this empowerment really coming in from, because then because till the time my father was there, I think I always had a shield to do anything, wear the clothes that I like, go anywhere that I want to, meet with any friends. But once that was there, I think everybody started having a different kind of opinion and posing different judgments. So that is the time when I started feeling that, yes, there is a need for women empowerment. Though my mom has always worked towards our education, both me and my brother, she has always given the right kind of um, learnings to us on how to respect women, and how, if you can help one woman grow, she will be able to help multiple other women's grow. So I think that ways I was I was very privileged. When I got married, I my in-laws had the same kind of mindset. They had always supported me to grow in the career. But then you have those outside people who try to pose opinions on you, and that is where I think the whole thing of empowerment comes. And that is when I started doing a little bit of study on and understanding on what is this empowerment, why do we keep talking about women empowerment is so important. Because from my childhood I had never faced any scenario which really made me feel, oh, women empowerment is needed. um, uh, but then when I started working and I got into the leadership role, and I started talking to different people, understanding different mindset, uh, you will be shocked to know that uh, I have come across cases where, or many of the times, women's are when I'm interviewing women's, and when the job offer is given, they are extremely happy, even if it is a 20%, 30%, 40% hike. But men's, on the other side, are very demanding. They are never happy with whatever is given on the first side. They will always come back, negotiating, asking for a raise, for a different height. And from then it started like, why is women's not doing it versus men's are doing that? And then when the women's are starting at a much lower grade, the women's are getting paid at a much lower grade over a period of their experience, over a period of their time. And then you will see that the women's today are overall, not in my organization, I'm not quoting my organization, but overall they are three times less paid with the same experience, with the same qualification, or maybe higher qualification or higher experience than a man is. um, these are gender biases. These are putting a lot of economic strains, and that is the reason why I feel that while we are still growing, while we are still progressing as an organizations, as an nation, overall, but somewhere there is a lot of need for women empowerment. And that is where you and me will have to come into picture and play a bigger role to step forward and break down these ceilings and try to think more about why this is happening. We will have to step up for our sisterhood, for our womanhood, for our women friends, uh, and make it more of a positive ecosystem for them to grow, for them to learn, and for them to make it a better place to work and to live their life. So for me, I think there are multiple reasons of why still empowerment is still in talks, because we have still not reached to that level where we are supposed to be reaching. And that is why it is a task for all of us to do it together, and investing a lot of our time and resources towards this particular cause.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sumana, for this. Actually, this is the good talk that we can inspire such so much women that by this little talk they can be inspired, that they can self empower themselves, and we can inspire some group of people who can invest in women empowerment, and who can invest in accelerating their progress. I hope such men, such society is there still, and the women can grow much and much and much more in the coming days and flourish in their lives actually. Hope that changes will come in the society. Thank you for sharing your insightful thoughts. It's a very powerful session for me. It's a good experience talking to you. Thank you for all the ideas, all the things you have shared. Any last word you have to share for us? We want you to share the last word.
No, thank you so much. I think I am very privileged and obliged to be a part of this session with you, Vihari, um, and making me coming here to talk about it, because as a society, I think we are still not as grown up as we try to show. While we have improved a lot, but we will have to work together. There are still many cases um, of forced marriages, early marriages, sexual assault that a woman has to go through in a day to day life. I think such discussions, more meaningful discussions on how and what are the various opportunities for them to grow, how these things will help them, bring them more closer to their aspirations. Um, will really be helpful. Even if it is helpful for one woman, I think you and me have done our job today. So thank you so much for bringing me here, and absolutely great time with you, Bihari. Want to end this by saying you and everyone a very happy International Women's Day.
Yeah, very happy International Women's Day. Let's support each other, let's work each other, let's empower each other, and let's have good society and a very helpful society around us. Thank you so much for hanging your time. Thank you everyone for showing your love and this talk. Thank you so much and good evening. Bye.